when you look at the situation, how much people have been vaccinated in the UK compared to the EU, it definitely is a very different picture.
Yeah, I mean that's fair to say. I mean, it hasn't always been like that in terms of response to the coronavirus. At the beginning, it would probably be fair to say that the European Union was more effective in combating the spread of the coronavirus than the UK, and you can see that in the results today. France has had about 4.38 million infections, UK just about the same. But when you look at deaths, France has had 92.9 thousand deaths, and the United Kingdom 126,000. That's almost 25% more than the number in France. That reflects a more responsive approach by the French authorities earlier on in the day. When it comes to vaccinations, however, that things are turned on their head, because there's no doubt that the United Kingdom has been much more effective in vaccinating its population than has France. For instance, the same applies to other countries in the EU as well. France has vaccinated 9.5% of its population. The UK has vaccinated 42.4%. In France, 6.4 million people have had first doses. In the United Kingdom, 29.3 million people have had first doses. That's a huge difference. And part of that is down to some of the things that the EU have been complaining about, the fact that AstraZeneca has failed to supply the number of doses it promised from its European branches, in particular its Belgian branch. But it's also about organization. And not just organization either. It's also about how you present the vaccinations to the population, to your own populations. In France, for instance, and in Germany, very little has been done to encourage the population to trust AstraZeneca in particular. Although the European Medical Regulatory Body, the EMA, approved AstraZeneca, for instance, in January, very soon after that, President Macron said that it was pretty much ineffective for over 65-year-olds, despite there being no evidence to that effect. Now, the problem is that only 23% of people in France trust AstraZeneca. So you can get as many doses as you like, have as good an organization as you like, but if people aren't going to come and get inoculated, it's not going to work.
Well, let's talk a bit more specifically about that vaccine distribution. The EU seems to be fighting back, if you like, introducing measures now that could raise hackles in other countries, particularly the UK.
Yeah. As presented by the European Commission on Wednesday, this is a question of reciprocity. What they're saying is that, look, as we heard from the representative just a short while ago, the EU over the last couple of months or so has supplied over 10 million, close on 11 million doses of vaccination to the United Kingdom. The UK, for its part, hasn't supplied any to the European Union. That is not fair as far as Brussels is concerned. So they want to do something about it. So what they're saying is that they want to put in place the possibility for suppliers in the European Union to prevent exports of vaccines to the UK unless, or not just the UK, but to any country, where the level of vaccination is higher than in the European Union, but also where countries are blocking the supply of doses to the European Union, either through legislation or through contracts with suppliers, saying that they must first of all supply the UK before they send doses to the European Union. Now, that is the case with AstraZeneca in the United Kingdom. The UK has no law preventing export of doses, but it does have a contract with AstraZeneca that says you must first of all supply doses to the UK before you can send them to the European Union. So the European Union is saying, OK, look, if that's the case, then we're going to be taking countermeasures along the same sort of lines. The problem, as the UK itself has pointed out over the last 24 hours, is that this could lead to a trade war. And already, if you look at the headlines in the British media today, particularly the tabloid media, they're really going through all the nationalist vocabulary.
Rob, thank you for that. France 24's Rob Parsons.